Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today I want to present you a very fantastic gameplay in the TAM, and I want to talk about the tank now at battle rating 8.7. Now, I did recently also a video on the Leopard A1A1 L44, claiming that now it got much more value at the price of more compression, and other nations have to pay for it with the down tier. And as said, the entire German lineup has been down tiered, so the 9.0 to 8.7, and also the Begleitpanzer from 8.7 to 8.3. For the Begleitpanzer, it is well deserved if you compare it to other tanks that have stabilizer and just overall are smaller, a bit more agile, and just have more precise cannons. But you know, let's talk about here the TAM. It is probably the best looking tank at this battle rating for me personally. It is a tank made coming from a cooperation between German and Argentinian weapon manufacturers, as far as I know. And basically it has an L7 gun that works. Why does now suddenly an L7 work for me? Well, it is stabilized and it has APFSDS. But this is a light tank, and bringing such massive, and I mean massive APFSDS firepower to the table as a light tank just shows once more that something's wrong here. And I'm not discussing here up tiers and down tiers. I'm not talking here about, you know, the compression and so forth. I'm just talking about this tank, and it truly is now at a much better place from this tank's perspective. But if you talk about other nations' tanks, I think that if one nation has a problem at a certain battle rating, like the lack of fast tanks or scout tanks in general, you cannot give them as a compensation at higher battle rating a tank that is just slightly or most certainly overperforming. And if one nation at another battle rating dominates another nation in the Matchmaker, that doesn't mean that it is okay to invert this then again at another battle rating. And I think this is the overall problem in War Thunder. Now, light tanks have kind of a domino effect in a battle, especially if they have a firepower that is equal to a medium tank. In this case, the Leopard A1A1 with the L7, where it shares the ammunition and the gun performance. Just the gun depression and the gun elevation is a little bit less, but it's still okay. Furthermore, it can scout and it can react. So the tank can choose if to give away its position by killing one opponent or scout multiple and then just kill the one tank that just might be in the way of your team's advance. So I think a light tank is very, very important, and I was really glad that Germany also got now a light tank, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with the TAM. It performs very well, it has a very good gun, it is not the biggest tank, it has decent mobility, actually pretty good mobility, and it looks also fantastic, especially with this camouflage. I really fancy it. And I think a lot of the Argentinian people that play War Thunder are really eager to get their hands on this little word here. It's absolutely worth it at the moment. However, I think now that is enough rambling. Let's get on with the gameplay. So there we are on Poland. What better place to test German engineering for export, right? Yes, that's like 1/3 of my remaining subscriber base gone. My channel is dying, help! Okay, bad jokes aside, and let's concentrate on the game. So as you can see, I would normally use the southern route around the lake to actually look into to scout enemies that are coming from their spawn, and also concentrate on the most dangerous enemies. However, a large portion of my team already is going for the southern route, and there are so many of them that not many are left for the objective, defending B and also attacking A, and also clearing out the city. Not my first choice, but you have to adapt to your team, and when they do one thing, you have to somewhat support them, and that doesn't necessarily mean to drive directly next to them, although being a tank that is capable of repairing is very powerful. So I have a cunning plan. camping, frontline camping. So you could see we were really fast here. We were going with like 50 kilometers per hour. It could be faster. I still think that with the majority of tanks, the driving is not fully represented in terms of their actual possible speed. However, this is what we have to deal with. Look at those amazing puddles. They are the real reason why we play War Thunder, not the tanks, planes and ships, right? There you see, even my teammates say it. So, here we are, and I'm just listening. There is a little gap. I don't think that anybody is looking into this gap to scout me, but I can scout out. And again, listening is so very important. Now, I am so fast as a light tank that I need to give the enemy the opportunity to actually cross my pathway. And I think we are opposing mostly the Russians and also the Americans, and they very often take the direct route. But I got impatient. There was no enemy rusher that I should take on, and so I take here a bit of a risky maneuver. Looking around, I think the majority of people should be aware of this prominent position. And then let's have a look at the scouting hill, and if he would have paid attention, he would have killed me, instead me him. And that was actually a hull break because we got through the entire length of the tank and hit the engine. So remember, you can hull break even without heat FS or hash, just by hitting some internal module with a high powered APFSDS or AP shot. So either the gun breach or the engine or the transmission. We will see more of this later on. So the map got pinged, and I expect here the enemy to be in the dip for whatever reason, because that was actually the ping. So the Russians are already rushing B, as you can see, and that was a rhythm. And now we are reversing, and there you can see one of the drawbacks. You cannot really depress the gun because the rear end is a bit higher of the tank. The IS-7 got disabled. We killed already 2 of the crews, and now I want to finish him off and want to use here the bomb crater, but my steering is not precise enough. Here we disabled the cannon breacher, and it looked like the APFSDS just missed the propellant charge here of one of the shells by just a touch. But we finish him off with another shot through the engine deck. Remember, this is one of the traits that you can actually do very well with an APFSDS. Works also with AP and, surprisingly enough, also APCR. And then you can disable the engine, set it on fire, but still kill crew with the spalling effect. And so please remember this when you're next time engaging an enemy tank from the rear in your Hellcats, light tanks, whatever. So now I think it is time to push. Now it's time to show what this tank can do, but we need to be careful. So I see a lot of action here on the sniper ridgeline. There is always the danger that if I go now to the left, that the enemy is just coming from their caps, or their spawn rather, and just sniping me. So I look there and hello sunshine. Good night sunshine. This is so powerful. The high muzzle velocity of the APFSDS makes it very good. And there we have our candidates. Good night. That was a T-55 AM. Same battle rating tank, has the advantage of APHE and ATGMs and armor, but against this ruthless APFSDS, you know, that should be a hull break as well. I just, you know, cut his neck clean off. I think that should have been a kill. I just dipped momentarily into the cap with the intention to get out of there again and to just trick the enemies in contesting their own cap. So this is now a mind game, and this is what I love to do. I'm always convinced that if you are in the capture zone, you have such a higher chance to die, and especially in this game mode, I don't really think it's worth it. To dip in with a toe into the cold water to just, you know, decap it, that's certainly gonna work. Now, B is so much contested that I'm worried that we might lose the game to that, and I need to help my team out. Whatever tank there might be, it might pose a threat. So there is an Object 120 killing one of my Leopard buddies, and I'm taking here the obvious route because I want to see what I'm going up to, and the risk going in a straight line very fast through the city and just getting caught by a camper or by somebody that's just going the other way is a bit too risky. So I'm taking here the open road. My team has taken the other side of the lake, so I'm at least protected from that side. Now I'm turning in and I want to see what's going on. Is there a camper? Because I've seen the kill cam. The teammate that is near our southern spawn point is hesitating, so there is that's an indicator that somewhere there on our ridgeline or camper ridgeline that there is an enemy, and this position is very good for protecting. So the BMP2 has killed now 2 of our tanks. He's probably concentrating to the front. The artillery strike is there to distract him, and then we have the easy shot. Good stuff right there. And that's my ace, like that. I cannot waste my time in B. I would love to cap it, but it takes too long. The enemy knows that I'm in there. They know how to zero in. I'm very vulnerable against CAS. Rockets and bombs can still also hull break me, even though they might not even directly hit me because of the splash. Now there is a T-62 that is already killing my Leopard that was contesting A. And so again I go directly back, and this is where the mobility comes in really handy. This is what I love about my light tanks, to be much more present on the map, to change the location. And even though you don't have any armor, you're susceptible to or vulnerable to hull break. And even though if you might have an even much worse gun than this, you still can catch the enemy off guard, and then you don't need the most powerful gun. And this is where I have a bit of a problem with this gun. It is way too powerful. So here there are actually 2 enemies, and I want to go here on the low ground and stay on the low ground. So to scout, to catch the enemy off guard. My goal is here to prevent them the cap, but to catch them off guard. So the question is if they want to come out to play. Doesn't look like it. I don't have too much time to waste here. I'm somewhat in the open, but not really. I might come from an unexpected angle. It's always the question, how aggressive can you play in your light tank? And very often you have a good run and then you make one little mistake, or there's this one enemy that you didn't expect or watch out for, and then he gets and that gets you killed. So we saw a little distortion in the smoke, so I reverse, we aim for it, and well, that's at least a disabling shot, right? There is a lot of smoke action going on. One of the enemy tanks is already destroyed. I test with the machine gun. Yeah, he's dead. I test here with the machine gun. I should have probably gotten in. And we bounce off the engine deck. And his turret rotation is not fast enough. And that was a bounce from an APFSDS that went through the entirety of the enemy tank. And hello there. I aim here for the gun breach and we hull break him. That guy could have killed me, but he was distracted, so we got in the easy kill. That's 6 kills right there, and it feels awesome. It feels awesome to be that mobile, to have this really great gun on this very good looking tank that performs really well. My team did here all the flanking maneuvers. They were fairly successful. They neglected a little bit the city, but I accounted for that. And I played the city really well, in my opinion. Then we see here another candidate. First we scout him, and then we disable him. I actually went for the killing shot, but the shell went a little bit to the left, at least my aim. A tree fall down, and that allows us to kill him with impunity. Now, being in the cap, I think to myself, okay, now they have 7 kills. Now I actually go for the capping of this point. There are not that many enemies left, so I thought to myself, well, this could just work out fine. I have some backup, and then this happens. What the hell is that? We kill each other. for my 8th kill. That's it for me today. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Sadly, this was not a happy end. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about this gameplay and also the battle rating reduction, although I already have made a video recently about it. Give this video a like, give it, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields of War Thunder.